Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we start, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support us. And also, please take some time to read our community guidelines. Thank you, and let's begin. The year is 1916. For over a year, Europe has been engulfed in the flames of war, a conflict so brutal and mechanized that it has become known as the Great War. Somewhere on the Western Front, an Allied soldier finds himself pinned down by the enemy. Mortally wounded, he stumbles through no man's land, desperately seeking safety. As the life drains from his eyes, he collapses, becoming yet another casualty of the war. In fact, in this moment, he is one of around 10,000 Allied soldiers who have lost their lives on this first day of battle alone. It would be easy to see this man as just a number within the larger conflict. But what if there was more to his story? What if his sacrifice was not just a footnote in history, but a key to unlocking a sinister secret lurking within the shadows of a forgotten mansion? In the heart of Europe lies a mansion steeped in both beauty and tragedy. Built in the late 18th century, it stands as a testament to the bygone era, its grandeur now faded with time. But beneath its aged exterior lies a chilling secret, one that has remained hidden for decades, only to be unearthed by a group of intrepid explorers. They are led by a paranormal investigator who is haunted by a disturbing premonition. Visions of a ghostly soldier have been plaguing his dreams, each apparition drawing him closer to the enigmatic mansion. Intrigued and troubled, he assembles a team to venture into the unknown, hoping to unravel the mystery behind the ghostly soldier and the secrets he holds. Their journey takes them through a labyrinth of dusty corridors and rooms frozen in time, each step echoing with the whispers of the past. As they delve deeper into the mansion's mysteries, they uncover a hidden diary, its yellowed pages detailing the tragic fate of the mansion's former owner and his family during the war. The entries reveal a haunting narrative of loss, sacrifice, and a desperate struggle for survival. Through the diary, they learn of a young soldier who fell in love with the mansion's daughter. Their forbidden romance blossomed amidst the chaos of war, offering a brief respite from the horrors that raged outside. But their happiness was short-lived. The young soldier was killed in action, leaving his beloved and the diary's author torn between grief and the duty to keep their love a secret to protect his family's honor. As the explorers piece together the fragmented stories from the diary, they realize that the ghostly soldier haunting their leader's dreams is none other than the young lover from the tale. But why does his spirit remain trapped within the mansion's walls? Determined to lay the restless soul to rest, the paranormal investigator and his team embark on a mission to uncover the truth behind the soldier's death and the secrets he holds. They soon discover that the soldier was not only a victim of war, but also a pawn in a sinister game orchestrated by forces beyond his control. Unwilling to let the young soldier's sacrifice be in vain, the team races against time to uncover the full extent of his story and the dark forces that have kept his spirit tethered to the mansion. What lengths will they go to uncover the truth? What secrets will they unearth in the process? And can they finally bring the young soldier the peace he deserves? Join the paranormal investigator and his team as they venture into the uncharted territories of love, loss, and sacrifice during the Great War. Along the way, they must confront their own fears and demons while navigating the treacherous landscape of war-torn Europe. Will they succeed in laying the young soldier to rest, or will they become entangled in the very secrets that threaten to consume them? The fate of the young soldier and the team hangs in the balance as they delve deeper into the mysteries of the forgotten mansion and the sinister secrets it holds. As we continue our exploration of the Great War, we turn our attention to the Battle of the Somme, a pivotal moment in the conflict that witnessed unimaginable loss and human resilience. On July 1, 1916, the British Army launched an offensive along a 150-mile front stretching from Arras to Arbres in France. This operation aimed to break through the stalemate of trench warfare that had characterized the war so far and bring the conflict to a decisive end. However, what followed was one of the most devastating defeats in British military history. By the end of the first day, the British had suffered staggering casualties, with nearly 60,000 men either killed, wounded, or missing. The High Command's hopes for a swift victory were dashed as the offensive ground to a halt in the face of fierce German resistance. Amidst the chaos and carnage, stories of heroism and resilience emerged. Ordinary soldiers found themselves thrust into extraordinary circumstances, displaying remarkable courage and determination in the face of death. Their experiences on that fateful day serve as a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. One such story involves a stretcher-bearer named Sidney Begg. Amidst the deafening artillery fire and the agonizing cries of wounded soldiers, Begg fearlessly raced across no man's land to retrieve the injured. With unwavering bravery, he carried them to safety, risking his own life to save others. His heroic actions saved countless lives, making him a beacon of hope in the midst of despair. Meanwhile, on the medical front, doctors and nurses faced an onslaught of casualties, treating and caring for the wounded with limited resources and under perilous conditions. Their dedication and compassion offered solace and comfort to the injured, providing a lifeline amidst the horrors of war. One such medical professional was Dr. Gordon Hill, who served at the front lines, tending to the wounded with skill and empathy. Despite the constant threat of death, he and his team worked tirelessly to alleviate suffering, showcasing the power of humanity in the darkest of times. Yet amidst the bravery and resilience, the Battle of the Somme took a heavy toll on the soldiers' mental health. The trauma of combat and the constant threat of death left many suffering from shell shock, a debilitating condition that affected their physical and psychological well-being. The realization that traditional medical treatments were insufficient led to a growing understanding of the importance of addressing the psychological wounds of war. As the battle raged on, the stories of bravery, loss, and resilience continued to unfold. Soldiers on both sides displayed acts of humanity and compassion, offering aid and solace to their fallen enemies. These moments of humanity serve as a reminder of the shared humanity that binds us all, transcending the boundaries of conflict. But amidst the tragedy, there was also innovation. The introduction of new technologies such as tanks and aircraft forever changed the course of warfare. The Battle of the Somme became a pivotal moment in the evolution of military tactics and strategies, leaving an indelible mark on the future of armed conflicts. And then there were the artists amidst the chaos and destruction. Artists captured the realities of war through their paintings, photographs, and literature, immortalizing the experiences and sacrifices of those who lived through it. Their works provided a powerful testament to the human cost of war, serving as a reminder of the need for peace and understanding. As we reflect on the Battle of the Somme, it is essential to remember not only the staggering loss of life, but also the stories of courage, resilience, innovation, and humanity that emerged from the depths of despair. It was a battle that left an indelible scar on the landscape of war, forever reminding us of the price of conflict and the importance of cherishing peace. Now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on the events portrayed in the images? Feel free to share your opinions, thoughts, and any relevant information you might have in the comments below. Your engagement is valuable and helps create a vibrant community. If you found this video informative or enjoyable, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to show your support. We greatly appreciate your generosity and your passion for these historical events. And also, please take some time to read our community guidelines. Thank you again for watching and see you next time. A stately home that was once owned by a wealthy family has fallen into disrepair. Now nature is taking back what was once hers. It sits abandoned in the middle of nowhere, its broken windows staring blankly out into the overgrown gardens. But these are not the only secrets it holds. Welcome to this house. Today we are exploring. Be sure to stay until the end of the video when I share some sinister secrets lurking within the shadows of this forgotten mansion. Before we begin, let me provide you with some necessary background information about this house. In June of 1940, with Allied forces pushed back into a tiny corner of France, a German U-boat carrying Hitler's top generals set sail from France to England. They had plans to invade Britain and destroy it. Hitler's plan for attacking Britain was known as Operation Sea Lion. Germany had already successfully invaded Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and France. All that stood between them and Britain now was a narrow stretch of water, the English Channel. The invasion force consisted of three parts: the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army, and they would all play a crucial role in the coming weeks. While the British Expeditionary Force, also known as the Beat, was fighting desperately to hold the Germans in Belgium, the German Air Force, or Luftwaffe, began dropping bombs across the country. This bombing campaign would eventually be known as the Battle of Britain. While this battle raged overhead, the German Navy and the Kriegsmarine prepared for their attack. On July 10, 1940, thousands of German troops began moving through northern France towards the coast. 2 days later, they reached the Channel. On July 12, an estimated 25,000 German soldiers crossed the Channel and made their way inland. This was the beginning of the end for Britain. Over the next 2 days, more than 10,000 Allied soldiers would be killed, many more wounded and even more captured. But why aren't you telling this story to us today? You might be asking. Well, because the story doesn't end there. There is much more to this invasion than meets the eye. As I mentioned earlier, this was not just a land battle. The Germans used every advantage they could find, including the air and sea, to help the troops make their way ashore. Hundreds of boats and other small vessels were used to transport soldiers from the German ships to the beaches. Once ashore, these boats played a key role in getting the men back to their ships if they needed to retreat. These boats weren't all large landing ships like we see in the movies. Some were actually smaller vessels like fishing boats and pleasure yachts. One such vessel was a luxury yacht named the Mira, which was owned by the wealthy Vanderbilt family. The family had fled to the United States before the war broke out and left the boat in the care of a friend in England. When the war began, the British government realized they needed as many resources as possible to fight the Germans, so they seized the Mira and pressed it into service as a troop transport. It was renamed HMS Hillary and commissioned as part of the Royal Navy on May 16, 1940. Just over a month later, it was involved in the Dunkirk evacuation. On May 26, 1940, German troops began advancing towards Dunkirk. By June 1st, the British Expeditionary Force was trapped in the city. For 5 days, the British and French troops fought to hold off the Germans, but they were hopelessly outnumbered. On June 3rd, the BEF's commander, Lord Gord, ordered the troops to withdraw to the beaches and board any available ships. Over the next few days, more than 340,000 British and French troops were evacuated from Dunkirk. Among them were 144,000 British soldiers and 194,000 French troops. Also rescued were 12,000 members of the British Commonwealth forces, including 7,000 Canadians, 2,000 Australians, and 1,000 New Zealanders. Of the 330,000 soldiers evacuated from Dunkirk, nearly 90% were able to return to duty. If they had all been killed or captured, the outcome of the war could have been very different. The operation to rescue these troops was one of the most daring and successful in history, but it was also one of the closest calls the British came to defeat during the entire war. So where does the Vanderbilt's mansion come into play here? Well, not long after the evacuation of Dunkirk, the British government realized that they needed a place where the troops could recover from the trauma of the battle. They found the perfect place at Whitstable, a small town on the southeast coast of England. Here they discovered Scotney Castle, the sprawling mansion of the Vanderbilt family. The family had fled to the United States before the war broke out and left the boat in the care of a friend in England. The British government bought the mansion and turned it into a hospital for the returning soldiers. Here the men could rest and recover from their physical and emotional wounds. For the next 4 years, Scuttlebutt Castle served as a hospital, helping to heal the minds and bodies of those who had fought in the Battle of France. Then in 1945, the war in Europe came to an end. The hospital closed and Scotland Yard was returned to the Vanderbilt family. They sold the mansion in 1952, and it has remained in private hands ever since. Now let's move on to the images. As you can see in this photo, the house is grand but neglected. Ivy grows up the side of the building and through broken window frames. Trees grow out of the roof, as if the building itself is reaching for the sky. Vines and other vegetation cover the brick and stone walls. The front door hangs open, inviting visitors to come inside and explore. In another shot, we see a close-up of one of the rooms inside the house. Furniture can be seen through broken window frames. Sunlight streams in through cracks in the walls, illuminating dust particles floating in the air. A single chair sits in the corner, as if waiting for someone to sit down and relax. But there is no electricity here anymore. Everything is covered in dust and cobwebs. The room is empty except for the memories that linger in the air. A third image shows us the exterior of the house from a different angle. We can see how large the structure really is, stretching away into the distance. The roof is caved in some areas and covered with plants and trees. Ivy grows up one side, almost as if trying to climb out of the building. Broken window frames gape like empty sockets. Through one of these broken frames, we can see a glimpse of the interior of one of the rooms. The furniture is covered in dust and the walls are covered in peeling wallpaper. Sunlight streams in through the opening, illuminating motes dancing in the air. The room is empty except for the memories that linger here. The fourth image shows us the interior of what may have been the dining room or drawing room. The walls are covered in faded wallpaper and the ceiling has collapsed in on itself. A grand fireplace stands in one corner, its mantelpiece covered in debris. Sunlight streams in through a broken window, illuminating motes dancing in the air. The room is empty except for the memories that linger here. The fifth image shows us a close-up of one of the fireplaces. The marble surround is carved with intricate designs. The grate is missing and the firebox is empty. The room is filled with shadows and dust, illuminated only by slivers of sunlight piercing through cracks in the boarded-up windows. The sixth image shows us the exterior of the house again, but this time at night. The windows are dark and empty, like the eyes of a skull staring out into the darkness. The overgrown garden is shrouded in shadow, hiding whatever secrets it holds close. Moonlight illuminates the crumbling facade, revealing the scars left by years of neglect and decay. So what do you think? Are there any other secrets lurking within the shadows of this forgotten mansion? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to stay tuned for more like it. Thanks for watching.